Hello, my name is Reynaldo Caetano. This is my final project for Legal Issues in Kinesiology 550. Content of this project: facility background, case study, risk management, employment law, faith integration, and reference. Facility background. I chose Royal Personal Training because I currently work there as a personal trainer. Royal mainly provides individualized personal training sessions. I have been working there for the past 2 years. The idea here for the cases is because based on the cases we explored, risk management, employment laws, discrimination, sexual harassment, so we learned about that, and then the cases will give the foundations for that. So for instance, we have one case: fitness facility responded to a negligence action brought by the facility member who tripped and fell on a wet floor mat. So we learned what we can do to prevent those things, okay, which is within risk management topic. Moving forward, what's risk management? Risk management is organized activities to direct and control an organization. One of the main issues considering risk management is personal injury, simply because the risk nature of sport and physical activity. What else? What more about risk management? We learned that there are three crucial components involved in risk management: recognition, analysis, and action. Going back to that case that the person fell. So how can we prevent situations like that, potential risks within the workplace for us as a professionals? Identify, evaluate the risk, and then perform and implement that action. So of course we try to have floor always clean, and if it's wet, make sure we're gonna dry so we can avoid situations like that case. More risk management. We also learned emergency action plan. What is emergency action plan? Things might happen. Someone might fall. We might need, as a professionals, we might need to use first aids, including CPR, as well as external defibrillator, which all that must be written in that emergency action plan, as well as being rehearsed a couple of times a year. So having that all in place is just the positives within the topic of risk management that we learned. Some strategies according to the fitness professionals handbook, we see important things that we should hire qualified people, qualified employees, provided them training, as well as assess the employees throughout the time they are working. Of course, education very important, being certified, and people in the position of managing, supervising, specific experience needed for that. Now, employment law. What do we have here? So we have employment relationship. So the relationship between employer and an employee, whose obligations and rights. So for instance, I am a subcontractor. Royal Personal Training contracts me. I know exactly my salary, which is an hourly rate, my work duties, benefits, right? So this other case here, a student athlete. If you're representing a college where you might be playing sports, so although you have a contract, you cannot get paid if you're in that position. We also learned that in discrimination, sexual harassment, things that are protected, and then there's we see here the Title 7 of the Civil Rights, will protect people against discrimination, race, color, gender, religion, age, and the disability. Also, it's important to understand that, if you're a manager or just a co-worker, we want to avoid unwelcome sexual advances, because we might put ourselves in that position of sexual harassment, and then we don't want to let that happen. Either hostile or abusive work environment. People might not understand. Well, it depends the behavior, of course. Management strategies. How can we prevent discrimination, sexual harassment at the workplace? We learned that developing strong and ambiguous equal opportunity policies is a powerful tool. Another interesting thing that we learned is that employers should establish a specific process that will resolve a discrimination complaint when it occurs. So within the company, try to have in an environment for discussion, to problem solving, instead of focusing on the negative behavior that happened, the social behavior. Application and faith integration. So what we learned, how can we use everything in the future? Through the CAP 1, CAP 2, and CAP 3, Kinetic Knowledge 555, we learned, risk management is critical. The three crucial components: recognition, analysis, and especially action. So we realize that there's a problem. How can we fix it in order to prevent potential hazards? For instance, you might have a uneven floor at the gym, so someone might trip there, fall, breaking an arm. So if we can prevent that, that's just a positive for the company. As well as the employment law, management strategies, preventing discrimination and sexual harassment at the workplace, which was mentioned previously. So that will definitely be used in the future, regardless if me personally I am in a position of a manager or just an employee. And then responsibility of managing a facility. Well, provide a professional environment for clients, for all the professionals involved. Of course, the law, federal, state law, very important. Complying with the published standards of practice, qualified professionals, as we mentioned before. Equipment placement, very important. We learned there's a study that was conducted that many facilities do not obey the required spacing between cardio equipment. So that was very important to learn that, so we can avoid hazards. And also facility for and individuals with a disability. So we want to make accessible for everybody. Some biblical references. The Lord demands fairness in every business deals. He established this principle. A beautiful sentence here that I personally like to follow and think that a business should be fairness. So another example, if I am a manager at a place and then hiring people, make sure everybody will have equal opportunity, and understanding that discrimination, the Act 7 plays a major role. Using God's word, and again, there's discrimination to protect that. So for instance, manager must reasonably accommodate the religious practice of employers. Exception if religious practice cause hardship on the functioning of the business. So I believe that we can always use, and then I personally I do use at work, and it has never caused me any problem. Of course, we want to avoid if that can cause hardship on the functioning of the business. So it never happened to me. So I do believe that we can accommodate everyone beliefs, and as long as it's not going to cause any problem. And this is the reference page. So this is the final part of this project. And thank you very much.